You know, every piece of software has a story, a beginning, a middle, and an end. But what happens when its creator tries to slam the book shut and the software itself just refuses to die? That's what we're talking about today, the incredible story of a true legend, FoxPro, and its very, very long goodbye.
All right, picture this. The year is 2007. A powerful and really beloved piece of software, the literal backbone of countless businesses, gets handed a death sentence. Its owner, Microsoft, officially announces that all development is over. That's it, end of the line. Now, for almost any other program, this would be game over. But this is where the story gets really interesting. What happens when a whole army of passionate developers just looks at that announcement and says, "No, not happening"? When software that's been declared dead by its own creator just keeps going? That question right there is the very heart of the FoxPro legend.
So, to really get why this community wouldn't let go, we've got to look at what they were fighting for. We have to rewind a little bit, back to what so many people consider the last great version, the absolute peak of Visual FoxPro.
Back in 2004, Visual FoxPro 9.0 drops, and for the developers who lived and breathed this platform, it felt, well, pretty much perfect. It was blazing fast, super robust, and just mature. It was the culmination of years of work, an amazing tool for building really complex, data-heavy apps, with, honestly, a lot of ease. It felt like the final, ultimate form of the platform. And in a way, they were totally right. But of course, just as the platform hits its absolute high point, the corporate hammer falls. This is the crucial turning point, the moment Microsoft delivered its verdict, and the official story was supposed to just end. And this timeline really shows you what a gut punch the decision was. VFP 9.0 is released in 2004. Developers are absolutely thrilled with it. But then, just 3 years later, which is nothing, a blink of an eye in software time, Microsoft announces end of life. We're not talking about a slow, graceful decline here. This was like hitting a brick wall at full speed. And the message couldn't have been clearer. No new versions, no future roadmap. The project was over. Now, this wasn't a totally random decision. The industry was shifting. Microsoft was betting the farm on its new platform, .NET, and they wanted all their developers to get on that train. FoxPro was seen as a legacy product, a loose end that just needed to be tied up. And this created this massive conflict. On one side, you've got Microsoft's official word, it's over, move on. But on the other side, you have the day-to-day reality for thousands of developers and their businesses. Their code didn't just magically stop working. Their applications didn't suddenly crash. The software was still doing its job, and it was doing it really, really well. So, faced with an official ending, what did the community do? Well, their response was nothing short of extraordinary. It gave rise to this phenomenon that would define FoxPro's legacy from that moment on. They gave it the perfect name, the Undead database. How great is that? It's software that, even though it's been officially abandoned by its company, just keeps on living, used, supported, and maintained entirely by the sheer will and dedication of its community. And this wasn't just talk. It was a genuine grassroots movement. They just flat out refused to migrate away from VFP 9.0. They started launching their own open-source projects to replace outdated parts. They built new extensions to connect FoxPro to modern web services. And maybe most importantly, they formed this global network of forums and user groups, providing the support that Microsoft wouldn't anymore. And all of this brings us to where we are today, decades later. And it reveals the incredible legacy that this kind of loyalty can create. The result is this strange and kind of beautiful paradox. Officially, on paper, this software died in 2007. But in the real world, on servers humming away in businesses all over the globe, its ghost is still in the machine, powering critical applications decades after its own supposed funeral. And you have to understand, for its diehard fans, this was never just about code. VFP 9.0 wasn't just a tool they used for a job, it was a part of their professional identity. To defend it, to keep it alive, that was an act of defiance, and a testament to that powerful connection between a craftsman and their tools. When you boil it all down, the long goodbye of Visual FoxPro is living proof that a dedicated community armed with some clever code can actually outlive corporate strategy. A company can turn off the machine, sure, but a passionate community can decide to keep the ghost alive, maybe forever.